ustering ufandam. Base emaka, you decide what goes and what doesn't go. And what you say is final. Dimelang kaofela, ke nna Mankobetje Mokoka, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's a new month. Welcome to April as well. For those who know, April is my birth month, and I'm somebody who during April I love reflecting. I love just kind of assessing and auditing my life in a nutshell. And I thought it's only fitting to start this month with a video that's very self-centered, because April is all about me, honey. And that's on par. No, but jokes aside, I just thought it's fitting to start this month with a very self-centered kind of video. So essentially, in today's video, we'll be talking about how to become the main character, okay? To be in the leading role of your own life. So what being a main character essentially means is that it's being the best version of yourself right at this moment, with whatever resources that you have, with whatever growth that you have. That's what it means to be a main character. The best version of yourself right now. So the concept of being a main character has been just going around lately. I've seen it on like TikTok, there's some YouTube videos on it, and do check them out. It's quite an interesting concept. I myself am still navigating, but this is what I've kind of gathered so far, and I thought I should share on how one can elevate and become their higher self, or at least start taking steps towards becoming their higher self. So the first thing you want to do is you want to visualize. I believe in visualization. I believe if you think it and you try to feel the feelings, of whatever you're thinking, you're more likely to manifest it into your life. So what you want to do, if you do not know what the best version of yourself would look like, or what it means to be main character, to carry the main character energy, I suggest just stepping back, relaxing, taking a breather, and just sit in a quiet place and just close your eyes and visualize what a higher version of you would be. Forgetting any limited resources that you might have, forgetting any insecurities you might have, forgetting any, shortfalls that you think you have. You just completely forget that. You forget that there's a possibility that, there's things that hinder you. You forget all of that, and you just think, what would the best version of me be doing right now? What time does she wake up? What does she eat for breakfast? What does she wear? What kind of car does she drive? Where does she study? What kind of people does she hang around with? You just basically visualize you living your best life. Where does the person live? Do they live in South Africa? Do they live in the UK? Do they live in the States? Like, do they live in Canada? Like, where do they stay? You literally just forget about any limitations that they are, and you do your best to visualize the highest form of your horna. If I was to get everything I want right now, I would be using a certain phone, I would be driving a certain car, I would be chilling with certain people, I would be doing a certain job. That's basically so whoever you visualize, that's basically your main character. That's basically your higher version. That's the person you should be striving towards becoming. So the first step, visualize. Then the next step that you can take towards becoming the main character, or becoming the best version of yourself, is just to remind yourself that nobody's watching. Sometimes we are scared to start things because we think, abantu bazotini syndrome. Sometimes we're scared to start things because we are, how can I put it? We worry about what will my friends say, what will my family say, because what happens is, in most cases, as you grow up, it is possible to get boxed. So if you are somebody who is, let's say, an A student in high school, you do sport, you are a well-behaved child, it might be difficult for you to get to university and feel like you can explore. You get boxed in a certain way, you get boxed to have certain characteristics, and you also end up living according to other people's standards, and now you're scared to do something that is out of character for you, which Honestly, there's no such thing. Whatever you are, you are. You can decide to change at any moment, please, and change. Whenever you feel like changing, please change. So, it's important to remind yourself, you know what, nobody's watching. Whether it means like when you start a new gym, you might want, like, the higher version of you might, have a snatched body, what waist, honey, but like you're scared to go start gym because you feel like, oh, everybody's watching, or you feel like people will know when you fail. Like if you start something like, let's say, a YouTube channel, or you start posting much more frequently on social media, maybe you're trying to, just grow your social media presence, but now you feel like, but people are watching. What will people say? What will my friends say? And what if I don't become consistent with gym, and now they can see that I'm no longer going to gym, I'm going to fail publicly? But none of that matters. Like, none of that matters. You focus on you, and you try and do you. And maybe, you don't jog. Let's say you start jogging at 6 a.m. every morning. Maybe you don't jog at 6 a.m. every morning because jogging is not for you. Maybe you're good with lifting weights, but nothing. Or you do something, you realize, YouTube, it's not for me, or social media is not for me. That's fine. I just feel like it's very important to not stop yourself from taking steps towards becoming a higher version of you. And certain things will work out, and certain things won't, and certain things you'll find out, actually, it's not even that they're not working out, they're just not for me. But you would have tried, and you would have lived out your life. So just keep reminding yourself, nobody's watching, and do you. Literally, do you. But like, do you. And on that note, we move over to number 3, which is, the only person that is stopping you is you. Literally, the only person that is stopping you is you. You have the most power over your life. You have the final say. Like you have the final say in your life. You decide if you're gonna listen to other people. So if you want to do something that will help you become a better version of you, whether that means going back to school, but you feel like, oh, maybe I'm a bit too old. Whether that means, I don't know, you want to be that hand that, every day, full face, makeup face, beat, yonki mihla. If that's you, you go ahead and you do that. Like, you don't feel like, oh my gosh, but do like, better makeup, but just take care of your skin if you decide to go that route. But but I just feel like, remember that like, you have the final say in what goes in your life. Like, literally, you're the main character. You decide what goes and what doesn't go. And what you say is final. If you decide, I'm going after this, you're going after this. If you decide, this is not happening, guess what, honey? It's not happening. Also, I think it's very important to know that only you know what you want. Like, and if you don't know what you want, try to visualize, try to draw inspiration from people, try all these things, but only you know what you want. Nobody else does. And nobody will want, how can I put it? Nobody will want the good things in life for you more than you want them for yourself. Like, you might want that degree, but nobody's gonna want that degree for you more than you want that degree for yourself. So only you know what you want. So only you will have to just block out the noise. And he said, okay, I don't talk about, I'm tired of being scared. I'm tired of fear controlling my life. I'm tired of living in a shell. And it's not an easy thing to come out of your shell, but I'm tired of living in a shell because batlori. And sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes who are saying anything, you are the one who's stopping yourself. You're the one who's stopping yourself from moving on. You're the one who has also boxed yourself. It's just like, but people are also focused on their own lives. Yes, I know people can talk, but also at the same time, people are also focused on their own life. Be busy, and one thing about life, it will move. One thing about time, it will pass. Only you know the life that you want, and it's your responsibility to actually go out and get it. Like, so this tweet by Takisani Mondlane, and it said, I wrote it down so I can read it to you guys. It said, playing small will not serve you. Look as good as you want. Take up the space you need and be whoever you want to be. And I was like, amen. Let the church say amen. Because, honey, if you want to be looking good every day, look good. But, Larry, if you want to snap yourself, snap yourself. If just basically what I'm trying to say is just be comfortable being yourself, whatever that may be. Don't let anyone hold you back. Like, there's also another tweet, I didn't write it down, but there's someone who also tweeted something along the lines of, my life on this earth is not a secret. Like, I'm going to live it as loudly as I want to live it, and do that. And at the same time, if you want to be like very private, and you can also do that. You can also live it as, not necessarily as loudly, but you can live it as conservatively as you want. I think my thing is that it needs to be your core. You shouldn't be conservative because if your family wants you to be conservative, or because your friends want you, be conservative because you want to be conservative. Also be out there because you want to be out there, not because you feel like I must. Nah, you be out there because you want to be out there. You be in because you want to be in. But you decide. Literally, it's so beautiful once you realize how much power you have, how much just tapping into that power can change your entire life experience just because of a different perspective. It's insane. And moving on to number 4, which is my favorite, get lost in your own reality. I love this one. Literally, it's like, just be busy, man. Okay, get occupied in your own life. Like, if you're occupied with chasing your own dreams, if you're occupied with getting to a certain point, you don't even know, you don't even have the time to compare yourself to other people. You don't have, I'm not saying be naive to the world around you. I'm not saying don't check in on your friends, but get lost in your own reality. Be so focused on just building this best version of you. Be so focused in just living and being you that you know, you become too busy, being focused on studying and being focused on exercising and being focused on your skincare routine. You just become this glowing hand, baby. You don't worry about, that's none of your business. Just get lost in your own reality. It's beautiful. It is amazing. Like, your life becomes stress-free. Oh, guys, the perspective, your whole life experience, it literally changes. It changes when you get lost in your own reality. I'm not saying be self-centered or self-absorbed, but get lost in your own reality. And being lost in your own reality means doing more of what makes you happy. If going to the beach makes you happy, make sure that you try and go to a beach. Oh, if you live near a beach, maybe like once a month or once every 2 months. If shopping makes you happy, try to say, okay, how can I shop more often? If going on dates with friends makes you happy, if reading books makes you happy, start doing what sets your soul on fire. Stop holding yourself back. Just do more of that. And also, it's important, and this moves us to our last point, which is romanticize your life. Romanticize your life. Listen, life-changing, I tell you. Romanticize your life. I was saying it moves us to our last point because it's important to find joy in the small things. So yes, as much as I'm saying, like, do more of what makes you happy, but don't always do don't always focus on doing the extravagant things. Like, if traveling makes you happy, you can't always travel. If shopping makes you happy, you can't always shop. Also look into the small things, something like a cup of coffee. I know, if you know me, hot beverage, it doesn't have to be coffee, or hot chocolate, cocoa. If you're a hot beverage, you make me happy. So focus more on things that make you happy and find joy and gratitude in having them and either drinking them or experiencing them. So it's not always big things, it's small things. Like, I know whenever I make my cup of coffee, it's a relaxing moment for me. I know it sounds weird, but it really is. It's a relaxing moment for me. I take my time when I drink it. It's a beautiful moment. And that's what it means to romanticize your life. You take mundane, everyday things and you make them greater than they seem. And it might sound crazy, but it works. Like, when you take a shower, you take a little bit longer. You try and buy a body wash that will make it smell a little bit nicer. When you're reading a book, make the setup really nice and cozy. Have a blanket, have something to drink, maybe have a candle next to you, and just snuggle up in your book and get lost in whatever novel you're reading. Romanticizing your life, it's literally the things that you see you every day, but you're like, oh, this is the best water I've ever drank. Or this, when you hang out with your friends, whenever you laugh, you just try and find gratitude in every single moment. It sounds almost not necessarily impossible, but it sounds a bit like but every now and then, if you stop and say, how can I find gratitude in this moment? Whether you're taking a hot shower and you're grateful that the water is clean, the water is hot, water is easily accessible, that's gratitude. And when you want to become the main character, you need to have main character energy, right? You want to start calling things into your life. You want to start manifesting things. You want to start leveling up. And the only way for that to happen is for you to put forward a positive energy, is for you to exude an energy that's full of gratitude. And the easiest way to cultivate that energy is to literally try your best to find just gratitude in the most normal of activities. Find gratitude when you wake up, like, okay, ngivukile under a, I'm under a roof, I was safe, nothing happened to me or my loved ones, I'm in a warm bed. Those are things that when you stop, we sometimes take them for granted, like, of course, like or whatever. But when you take a moment and you think about them, they breed so much gratitude inside of you, and that gratitude becomes just energy that flows into the universe, and then you channel in your main character energy. Because now, if you're finding joy even in the simplest of things, you're finding joy in getting ready. When you study, for me, I know one of the things that I do is, like, when I study, I would switch on a candle, I would put like my books there, I'd have my cup of coffee, because honey hot beverages, I'd have my cup of coffee there, and like I'd even snap, and that for me just gets me, it makes me find joy in studying, and instead of saying, oh, I have to study, I'm like, oh, I get to study. Is those things, do they always work? No, not every day, of course, but as much as you can, try to find gratitude in the most mundane of things. In that way, you'll be romanticizing your life, you'll be, making energy flow out, and you'll be receiving main character energy. And honey, slowly but surely, you'll be elevating, slowly but surely, you will be the main character of your life. It's just mainly that visualize the type of person you want to be. Remember that nobody's watching, because you have the final say. Kwena steering, kwena fandam, basi stopaka wena. So what you say goes. And just remember to also romanticize your life and give gratitude. Then start to watch you live your best life. Literally start to watch the best version of you come to life. It's an absolutely beautiful thing to experience. Yeah, thank you so much for sticking with me until this far. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment section what being your best version or becoming main character means to you, or what are some of the steps that you'll be taking to become a main character in your life. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.